Hi, this is Fatima. Here let us discuss about select list validation in Asp.NetCore. Before proceeding to this video, watch my previous video where we have discussed about Asp.NetCore built-in validation attributes. Select list required validation. Let us see how to make the select list required. Generally, value types such as int, float, decimal, DateTime are inherently required. So we don't need the required attribute for these value types. So in order to make this value types field as optional, we have to make the property nullable. And also if you want to make it required explicitly, then we need to apply the required attribute to the property. Let us understand this with a simple example. This is an Asp.NET Core MVC application we have created with a simple empty project template. Let us use this in order to understand the select list required validation. In this add product form, we have to make this bedspread size field as a mandatory. So we want now one more option among these options, like please select as the first option. This please select is not a valid selection. It's just an option to prompt the user to select the valid size. The size select list bound to the size enum, and it takes the value single, double, queen and king. And if we notice in the add.cshtml view page, we are using the ASP-items tag helper to bind this size select list to the size enum. Let us make the first option in the select list to be the please select. The easiest way to achieve this is by including an option element. So let us include the option and make its value empty string and give the text please select. Now let us display the validation error. So for the size select list, let us provide the validation error by using the ASP-validation for tag helper. It's now bound to the size property of the product class. So let us make this a required. With these changes in place, now let's run the application. Click on this add product. So now the bedspread size is mandatory. So without selecting anything here, let us click on this add. You will see instead of the bedspread size is required, it's showing the value is invalid. For price also we are getting the same error. The error that we are getting here is not the required validation error. Let us prove this. Just remove the required attribute. Just now we have added to the size property of the product class. With these changes, now let's run the application. Click on this add product. Now let us submit without giving any input. Still we are getting the same error. Let us understand why we are getting this error. The data type of this bedspread size property is enum size. By default, the enum underlying data type is integer, int. If you see here, the empty string is set as the value for the please select option of the select list. So when this option please select is selected from the select list, then the value empty string is used as a value for this bedspread size property, whose underlying data type is integer. Obviously, the empty string is not a valid value for the integer. So this is the reason we are getting the error, the value empty string is invalid. Then why we are getting the same error for price also? This is because the value types such as integer, float, decimal, datetime are inherently required. So we don't need the required attribute. If you see this data type of the price, it is the decimal. So it is inherently required. So we don't need the required attribute. However, we can make this price and size as an optional, because it is inherently required. In order to make these two fields optional, we can make the property as nullable by including the question mark. So now the price and size is optional. With these changes, now let's run the application and see it. And click on this app product page. So now without giving any input, let us click on this add button. Now you can see no such errors like the value empty string is invalid for bedspread size as well the price, because we made the bedspread size and the price is optional now. So in order to make it explicitly required, we can add the required attribute here. So now the price and size is required. Let us see the output form with simply please select for the bedspread select list and without any price. Let's click on this add button. Now you can see the validation error as expected. Hope you enjoyed this video. Our next video is about Introduction to Entity Framework Code. Thank you.